Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Spoken Truth Revival. Today we're going to be talking about grief. We're going to be talking about the 5 steps of the process through grief. I got some notes here that I got on my laptop and I want to go over them with you. But the reason why we're speaking on this or why I'm speaking about this because I know this will help some people when they're going through whatever mess that they're going through, a loss, a family member, whatever the case may be. I experienced my own loss in the year 2023, October 15th, 3 days before my birthday, because my birthday was October 18th. My son passed away. I found my son on the couch, and according to the paramedics, he was gone for hours. We don't know what happened. Still to this day, everything's still unclear of what actually happened, but it was a horrible time. He was only 18 years old, and it was a rough year that I went through, rough time, rough understanding. I just lost my son. The year before that, I lost my father. I've been dealing with a lot of loss for a lot of years, and through family members, through friends, military wise, all kinds of just different aspects of my life, and not just dealing with loss, dealing with, I can say, just problems in life, man, mental life, mental issues, jobs, whatever the case may be. But as I was looking at this report and thinking about how I was back then, this actually helped me to come to understand what I was dealing with. And the whole reason and the purpose for this channel is because to try to help out those that have gone through the same thing that I have gone through. I just finished writing a book called Forged Through Fire, where it speaks about my journey with my that I went through with my son. Also with my faith, wrestling with things that just didn't make sense at the time. But now I'm not done with this process because this is something that will go on for the rest of your life. But I'm at the last stage of this grief process. And let me go over the 5 stages real quick for you, okay? The 5 stages: number one is denial, number two is anger, number three is bargaining, number four is depression, and number five is acceptance. We're going to break it down one by one to see how this actually, how it works. Now, as we're going through this process, it's not the same for everybody. Some experience one over the other. Some experience them in those orders. It's just a guideline for those who are experiencing grief. Okay. If I can remember, the psychiatrist who the Kubler Ross Elizabeth Kubler Ross model, if I said that correctly. And I learned this through psychology, one of the courses I was taking. But even before the whole psychology course, I started trying to gather more information and gather more on what was the feelings that I was going through. Because, like I said, this one with my son hit me so hard. It was so hard. It was nights of not sleeping. I was losing a lot of weight. It was just a lot of things that were happening. And the stages all make sense. The stages were kind of like, okay, I get it. Now, can I tell you how I went through them one by one? I really can't say that, but I can tell you that I know I've experienced all 5 of these stages. Let's start with the first stage. Well, the first stage is denial. Here it says denial. This isn't really happening, right? A defense mechanism that helps numb the initial shock. You may feel disconnected or in disbelief. When my son passed, that whole day I remember of, yeah, I was in shock big time. I didn't know what was coming or going. I speak about that in my book. I didn't know what was happening. Everything was happening so quick and so fast, and I can't really remember all the details of that day because it was just something like, wow, what is going on here? And even with him being at the age that he was, no health issues, young, 18 years old, young 18-year-old guy, they treated it. I remember the police officers and everybody was over here. They treated that scene like it was a crime scene, basically. Like we have murder on son or whatever the case was. Maybe somebody out there understands a little bit more. But I remember they had my son laying on the floor, and they had like the sheet over him and stuff like that. And man, I was just like in a daydream the entire time. It's like I couldn't accept what had just happened. And that went on for a couple of days. It was like I knew that had happened, but something inside me was like, I just can't really connect with this. I just can't really grasp this. Even seeing him at at the funeral home when he was cremated. Before all that happened, we I went there to give him his last haircut. It was just a mind-boggling event, and I know that a lot of you guys that are going through the stuff that you're going through experience this type of loss that I'm talking about, or this type of denial where you feel like, man, is this really going? Is this really happening to me? Is this really something that, like what is this right now? And like I said, it's not just losing somebody. It could be just in the case of you lost your job or relationship issues or wherever the case is. But that is the first step. The first step is denial. The second step is anger. And anger, I know I went through a lot. I went through a lot of that in that specific um, storm, you could say, a trial that I had. And here it says anger, right? Why did this happen? Who is to blame? Anger can be directed at yourself, others, or even God. It is a way of expressing the pain and injustice of the loss or injustice of the loss. Experience frustration, anger at God. Oh, I was damning God all up and down the entire time. And it wasn't just with my son. I started going back in the feelings about when I lost my sister in 1999, because in 1999, it was my grandfather in the beginning of the year who I was so close to. And then at the end of the year was my sister who passed away from MS, and she was 23 years old. She got in when she was 16. I saw her go down slowly, slowly into the last episode, which I'll leave that for another video. Um, I just started going back into all that and asking God, like, how could this happen? 18 years old, 18. But it wasn't just with God, it was with everybody in my family. I had such a bitterness that was going on. And everybody in my family, like I said, everybody was getting it. Everybody was getting it. I think my wife, my younger son, my older son, everybody was getting a part of that rage I had inside me. I was so mad. Then mad at my son that had passed, David. I was mad at him, and I couldn't address him. I couldn't ask him the questions. Why? What happened? What did you do? Even though we had assumptions, but it's like, what's it? It was a rage that went inside of me, that it was just, I was explosive. Anything made me explode. Anything. Um, but let's move on to step number three. And step number three talks about bargaining. Bargaining is another one. If I had only, maybe if I maybe the woulda, shoulda, couldas, right, start coming in. It says you try to make sense of the pain or regain control, often by making promises or playing out what if scenarios in your mind. Oh, the what ifs, the what ifs, the what ifs, the what ifs. I went through so many what ifs, and I'm still going through what ifs right now. I'm still going through all five of these stages. It's just not, it's less intense. But the what ifs at that moment was so much. I was, I couldn't even think straight. Like I said, why not me instead of my son? Why not me? Take me. You should have took me, not him. There goes the anger again, and then the denial came back in. I was going in a roundabout with all these feelings and all these frustrations. And I know I'm not the only one either who has experienced these stages. I'm just putting it out there because I want everybody to know what you're going through, especially if you're going through a loss, especially if you're going through a loss of a child, but understand what the processes of grief, and there is a systematic way of looking at it. Does it work out like that? Like I said in the beginning of the video, no, it doesn't really work out like that for everyone. Everything is different. But when you learn about this and when you hear about this, the reason why I'm doing this video, you start like catching it. Like, okay, this makes sense now. That makes sense. Bargaining was another big step for me. Um, Here we go. Step number 4 is depression. What's the point? A deep sadness or emptiness can settle in. It's a heavy but natural part of acknowledging the full weight of the loss. Depression, something that I have been struggling with for a lot of years and still go through it. Depression can keep you down on your feet. Depression can hold you. Depression can keep you from living life. Depression kills you. The reason why I started, another reason you can say why I started doing these videos now, and if you watch a lot of the shorts, or if you follow me, the ones who are, if you don't follow me, you'll see on my videos what I speak a lot on. My videos are always about feelings and emotions and things that I've gone through, with the church. And my faith is something big, but I go into a lot of that, and sometimes you'll see a lot of good videos I'll post, excuse me, and then you'll see an emotional point. My son's birthday comes along, or I'll remember my son, or I'll walk past his pictures and things like that, and I'll hit the glimpse. A baseball. Remind me, he used to play a great baseball player. So depression, you'll fall into that stage, and sometimes these stages, I know for me personally, this stage of depression, which is the fourth stage, this stage right here, lasted for a long time. A deepness depression that I have. And I say have because I'm still struggling with some of it. But it was so bad. Didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to do anything at all, anything. Um, Now we're going to the fifth stage. The fifth stage, if you remember, was acceptance. Acceptance is this is my reality now. I have to learn to live with it. Acceptance doesn't mean you are over it. It means you're learning how to live with the loss while still moving forward. Took me a while, I say recently in the last couple months, that I really fell into that whole acceptance, and I knew I was accepting it. I was talking a lot with my family, a lot of videos, friends, and stuff like that that I made. And one of the things I kept repeating was that this is my new reality. This is my new reality that I hate, but I have to accept this to be able to live and to be able to move on. I have other children. I have my wife. I have my own goals. I have my own things that I do. And I can't bring back my son. I can't bring him back. And it's like, it kills me because if I'll do anything in this world to bring back my son, but I have to accept it. Do I have answers behind it? No, I don't have answers on the reason why my son is not here. I don't have answers on a lot of things that's happening in my life. Oh, there goes my cat going. I don't have a lot of answers or any answers to any of the stuff that's happening in my life. And I've always dealt with the hard accepting acceptance is what I've always had a problem with dealing, trying to find that I guess peace in that. But with my son, I can say with my son that unfortunately it's something that yes, I had to accept, you know but yet again with this video, it's to walk you guys through these processes, to walk you guys through these steps. So you got way you guys can, if you're going through it, which I know people are going through it. That's another thing that we're going through it, but a lot of people are not talking about it. We're dealing with a lot of people now, especially in this age and this generation, with the suicide and everybody holding things inside. That's why we have the men's mental health awareness month. I think it's May. But we're speaking a lot on mental health awareness. Even my children's school, I homeschool them, but in the programs that they go through, you can see it on the computer where it speaks about mental health awareness. And if you need help, to come seek it. A lot of us, when we fall into that step, depression, which is number 4, when we fall into that, we don't really want help. Or it's like we're trying to deal with it on our own. We're trying to figure it out on our own. We should not be like that. We need to let it out. The purpose, another purpose, yet again, I keep speaking on this video, is because I want people to reach out. I'm not here for followers. I'm not here for all that. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It doesn't matter. I want to help those who have experienced what I have experienced, that have gone through what I have gone through, because this is real. This is life. When I went through with my son, I had to walk this journey alone in the wilderness trying to figure things out. I don't want that for others. I don't want that for you. And like I said, regardless if it's you experiencing a loss, something inside you, you lost your job or your relationship. This is big. This is big, and this needs to be more out there. And there's a lot of people talk about it, and I want to join that crowd. I'm going to talk about it more so that way we can get deeper into it. But today, we learned about the 5 stages of grief. There's going to be more videos, going to be more content about healing journey, about things like that, wrestling with ourselves, wrestling with our emotions, wrestling with, you know, faith. I speak on faith a lot, but wrestling on these things. I'm a prior veteran, went through a lot, experienced a lot in that field. Family life, I got a lot of things going on, but I'm here trying to make this work and try to do what it has to be. And I want to make this more authentic and make it feel more authentic. So that's my credentials behind all of it. Experience a lot of life. But check it out. If you like this video, comment, subscribe, leave your story in the comments. Reach out to me. If you do it, I promise you, if you leave comments, you're going to see a response from me real fast, real quick, because this is serious for me. This is very serious for me. But once again, if you like it, subscribe, leave a comment, story. You can follow me here. You can follow me on my Instagram, Spoken Truth Revival. You can spot Instagram, what you call it? Excuse me, TikTok. I'm on all that. And once you see my profiles and once you see the videos, you're gonna see what I'm about and what I do and what I speak of. My passion is people. My passion has always been people, and I always try to help and motivate. Got it? Spoken Truth Revival with fear and pain and the words in between. God bless you guys.